This video is going to be a quick guide to finding and farming weapon optics in Deadside version 0.6.0. Today we will only be talking about magnified optics. This includes the PU scope, which only mounts to Mosins, the POS-1 scope, which only mounts to Warsaw Pact weapons, so AKs and VSDs, the COD scope, the HMR scope, and LCAN scope, which can mount to any weapon. So first up, let's talk about the simplest way to get any of these scopes, and that's event rewards. Medium missions have a decently low chance of spawning one, hard missions are more consistent, and epic missions will have a guaranteed spawn for at least one of these scopes. Helicopter guards with Mosins have a small chance to have a magnified optic, so it's worth checking them. The convoy case also has a guaranteed spawn for a magnified scope, but it's pretty challenging to secure. If you don't know how convoy cases work, you get them from a convoy event, which has 16 guards and a boss. The AI in this mission are the hardest in the game, they are extremely difficult. The boss drops the case we are looking for. This case will be marked on the map with this yellow circle, so if you pick up the case, this yellow circle is going to follow you. Your goal is to get the case back to the safe zone so that you can open it before somebody tracks you down and takes the case from you. This case is the only way to get high tier muzzle brakes and large extended magazines, plus there is the guaranteed magnified optic spawn, which makes them really valuable. Mission rewards are not the only way to get a magnified optic. There are many spawns in the open world that you can farm. Some of these spawns are not very well known, so even if you are an experienced player, I doubt you're going to know all of these. It's also worth mentioning that some of these spawns include not just magnified optics, but red dots as well, so you'll find both. So, our first spawn is one in Bunker, on the upper floor. The fastest way to get there is by going down entrance 2, taking a right, walking down the hall, and in the next hallway it will be the last door on the left, right here inside of this fallen weapon rack. Next up we have the grain silos, and in order to get this spawn, you need to climb all the way up top of the silo, walk to the other side, and then go all the way down these rusty stairs. At the bottom is an optic spawn. At the south military base, near the rear entrance facing kind of south, there is an optic spawn on top of this tower. Right next to South Safe Zone in Pokrov, there is an optic spawn on top of this water tower. In Botchki, there is another optic spawn on this same water tower. On the North Islands, in the fuel depot, there is an optic spawn right here on top of this crane. Our next spawn is in Dubovo, and it's actually really easy to access. The spawn is right above the entrance of this building. This is the building that doesn't have the blocked stairwell. All you need to do is walk to the entrance and hit tab, and you should be able to grab the optic if it did spawn. You're actually just grabbing it through the floor because it's really spawning right above the entrance. Most of you already know that there are optic spawns on top of both lighthouses. There is the North Lighthouse, and here's the West Lighthouse. The West Lighthouse also has a VSD spawn, but the North does not. In Chernylog, there is a tower marked 1952. In the windowsill is an optic spawn. And for our most sneaky spot on this list, there is a campsite right here nearby North Safe Zone. You need to get under this arch, climb up to this spot, where there is an optic spawn hiding. And our very last area is the best spot for farming weapon optics, and that's the Himash, not sure how to pronounce it. People also call it the chemical factory, because that's what it is, and also double hard, whatever you want to call it, it's this area. There is an optic spawn on top of this cooling tower, the one facing west. On top of this guard tower facing east is another optic spawn. There's another optic spawn on this tower, but be careful not to fall down, there's some holes in the floor. Also, the next floor up from the optic spawn is a VSD/50 cal spawn. Next up, we have the second VSD spawn in the area, which also has an optic spawn. In order to grab it, just run up these stairs and jump on top of this box. As long as you're on top of the box, you can just grab everything through the floor, which is a lot more convenient compared to climbing all the way on top of the building. And our very last spawn point is the second to last crane facing west. It has an optic spawn on the very top. So, there you have it. That is every single magnified optic spawn in the entirety of Deadside. So if you're looking to build a stockpile, I suggest you either farm the chemical factory or farm epic missions. The convoy case is another great option, but it's by far the most difficult thing on the list. But if you're able to complete them consistently, then do that. And before you go, here is a map with every optic spawn. So next time you're walking around the map, it might be worth it to check some of these spawns while you're traveling. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments what type of guide you would like to see next. Thanks for watching.